PD nurse asked me to explain the PET test in a simple way. So here we go. First, let's start with the peritoneal cavity. So the peritoneal membrane inside this cavity, when you put the dialysate fluid in, it removes toxins and excess fluid from the body. That's its job, and it's great. Some membranes work really fast, some work really slow, and some are just right in the middle. So what's the difference between fast, slow, and average? Think of it like tea. You can have really cold water, really hot water, and warm water. If I take a tea bag, put it in the really cold water, it's gonna take forever for that water to become tea. If I put the tea bag in warm water, it's gonna take the right proper amount of time for it to become tea. Now, if I put that tea bag in a hot water, it's gonna spread at a very fast rate. That tea is gonna be done almost instantly. And that's how your peritoneal membrane works to remove waste and fluid. So, don't forget about the osmotic gradient. This is a big deal. That dialysate fluid is just sugar water. That's all it is. So, that sugar water goes into the patient's cavity and it has more sugar than the patient's bloodstream. So red flags across the body, whoa, we suddenly got this influx of sugar, but our bloodstream doesn't have a lot of sugar. So what's gonna happen? That sugar is gonna pull that excess waste and pull that excess fluid into the peritoneal cavity. It's gonna pull it into your membrane, or through your membrane into your cavity. While it's pulling, it's gonna send sugar into your bloodstream because the body doesn't like that there's way more sugar in one area than another area, and it wants to balance out. And that is important because if you have a high transporter or a hot water patient, it does it really fast. So that sugar water sitting there, it goes in your body and it is absorbing fluid and toxins like crazy at a very, very fast rate. But it's also sending sugar into the bloodstream at a very, very fast rate. Now that's not good because eventually there's gonna be equilibrium and then there's gonna be way more sugar in the bloodstream than in your peritoneal cavity. And if this happens, guess what? The body's gonna send more red flags and it's gonna start reabsorbing those toxins and fluids as it's sending the sugar back into your cavity or your patient's cavity. And this is why high transporters lose ultrafiltration. They get this maintained fluid overload. They get a lot of reabsorbed toxins in their body. They get bloated, and fast transporters usually don't do too well with PD. The longer you're on PD, the more likely you'll become a fast transporter because your peritoneal membrane gets damaged over time, making it very porous, and that becomes a fast transporter. Now, average transporters are great. Average transporters, the sugar goes into the bloodstream and it's pulling toxins and fluids in the body's cavity at a very, very steady rate. Slow transporters are kind of bad as well because they need a long time to make their tea. So the body is slowly removing toxins and slowly removing excess fluid and slowly putting sugar in the bloodstream. It takes a long time. So slow or low transporters, they need a long dwell time. Average transporters, they're fine. They can deal with an average hour and a half dwell time if they're on the machine. High transporters or hot water patients, they need a low dwell time. And why do they need a low dwell time? Because the longer that fluid sits in that cavity, the faster that sugar's going into the bloodstream, and then the bloodstream's pulling toxins back in the body. So we don't want to keep that dialysate fluid in their body for too long. I've seen high transporters with 45-minute dwell times. So pay attention to the PET test. Let me know if this made sense. I hope it did. Take care. Ciao.